Hi, my name is Brittany Hodgman, and I'm going to take you through my teacher inquiry. So as a teacher, I have developed some core values, and my main core value that I always bring up to everyone is that I love creating collaborative environments that are safe, fun, and supportive learning communities for all students, which also means that students are creating their own learning. They are taking part, they are being active learners in their classroom that is open and accessible for them. And then I have my professional practice, of course, using my pedagogy to plan, assess, and evaluate learners of all different skill levels, and consistently reflecting to promote successful student-led learning in my classroom. So my topic is motivating to increase individual student learning and success. And the problem that I'm finding in classrooms is that the student-led learning is not there, and there's a lacking environment that doesn't promote student growth. So you can see below that there are 3 pictures. So engagement, we need to motivate learners. This is my problem. Teachers are not motivating learners, we're just giving them knowledge, and there's no engagement. Then we have our representation, so we're not teaching students how to create their own knowledge. We're not giving them that environment that is really rich in what they can learn, and we're not teaching them how to create learning. And then finally, expression. So student-led learning and environment provides expression to the students. It gets them to understand how they can talk to each other, how they can use the knowledge, and how they can tell people about the knowledge that they've learned. So here's a few things that I've pondered. So why do we have restricting environments in the classroom? Through a bunch of research and experiences, I've noticed that there's always, or almost always, a teacher's desk that's off limits to students or areas of the classroom the students can't use without teacher permission. But it is the student's classroom, so why do we have specific areas for tasks, such as the carpet for math and your desks for writing, and then there's a specific reading area that we can't go in unless we're reading? It's the student's classroom, and this restricting environment does not allow them to learn successfully. And what about the dependence on the teachers? We are creating students that are so dependent on teachers because we're just giving them the knowledge that we have and not allowing them to build their own knowledge. And so this is resulting in low achievement scores on EQAO, grade 10 literacy tests and quizzes within the classroom, and it's also creating very low confidence in subject areas without direct teacher support. So some students are not being able to learn languages without direct teacher support. They're not being able to do math. This is where you get those students that are so concerned and can't do math without sitting directly next to the teacher and asking them something every 5 seconds. This is a dependence because we're giving them our knowledge and not allowing them to create their own. So here's what I pose. Universal design for learning. It's the student's classroom. It's open, it's fun, it's accessible, it's flexible. They're creating knowledge through inquiry, interest in projects. They're discovering and they're exploring. And I've seen so much research and so many experiences that by using the teacher as a facilitator and allowing students scaffolding, they're not only increasing in confidence, but they're also increasing in achievement rates. You can see that when a student builds their own learning and is confident in their areas, they're able to be self-confident and a lifelong learner that can achieve and be successful. So here's my question. How can I integrate arts into the curriculum in everyday tasks and environment to increase self-confidence in students and encourage successful student learning? So by rethinking the importance of do, reminding myself that all students are different, and rematching the curricular corrections, how am I able to create self-led learning? We're going to discuss that. But before we go, here are a few key terms that I would really like to discuss with you. So we have themed learning. So we're using the interests of the students to create knowledge. We're creating lessons that work towards a student, which connects directly to our student-led learning. Then we have a gradual release of responsibility. So we're using the teaching style as a modeler, and you're doing it with the students, and eventually the students know what they're going to be able to do, and they're going to be independent, self-led learners. Then we have motivation. What is it? Well, you're just making the students want to love to learn. So you're using intrinsic and extrinsic factors to increase and gain understanding. And then we have student-led learning. So the student is the main creator of the knowledge within the classroom, and the scaffolding with other students to pose questions and answer their questions. So they're simply using the teacher as a facilitator. And finally, we have our universal design for learning, which is a learning principle that facilitates learning for all types of students. So there's a learning document on EduGains that talks about learning for all. And basically, you're setting up your classroom and you're modeling your teaching practices so that the students develop lifelong learning in their safe and open learning environment. So here's how we can do it. I've looked at tons of resources for you that I'm going to share. So, Rethink. There's a West article that talks about the concepts of shared thinking. So you can see at the side there on our pyramid, we have traditional or passive learning, that's lecturing, reading, audio, visual. But what we're not understanding that it's the 21st century and you need to practice by doing and practice by teaching. So do you see the difference between there's 5% of learning if you lecture at them, and if they actually do their learning, it's 75%. That's 70% more, and research has shown this. So we need to make sure that we're facilitating questioning, we're using oral communication and technology, and we're not giving them barriers. So second, we're going to talk about Remind. So within the resources that I've discussed, the Learning for All and a couple other by Robinson and some more, Myers and Rose, I've discussed that we need to read their IEPs. We need to understand what they need, and we need to provide that for them. But they're all different. We need to reflect. We need to teach in different ways. Then we have Rematch. So how are we going to integrate that creative and critical process? If you don't think that children need art, it's really important. I've seen tons of research by Drake and Burns that talks about the overarching topics within each area of the curriculum, and you will be so shocked that there's so many piquing interests in arts that allow the students to integrate visual arts, drama, dance, music context with all other curriculum areas, including math. Math can be integrated into arts and make it fun and less scary for students to learn. So here's the plan. I'm going to collect data, and here's how I'm going to do it. So there's this app right here. It's called Shadow Puppet, and it creates the students' thinking. So they can choose so many things to think about and talk about. And this is going to happen after a lesson. They have their own accounts. They're going to go on. They're going to discuss by either taking a video or a picture or a draw what they learned during that lesson and what helped them learn. Was it the environment that helped them learn? Was it that they got to talk to somebody about their learning? So this is a fun and student-led way to be creative with technology. And we're going to collect this data. Then we have our student assessments. So the students are going to be given a piece of paper or a video or a few prompts to ask them, what did you learn and what helped you learn during this lesson? Was it that you got to talk to somebody else? Was it the environment? Is the environment helping you? Are your peers helping you? What can your teacher do? So this is getting the voice from the students. Finally, we have the inquiry-based questioning journals, and the teacher is going to complete this journal. After the week goes by, the teacher is going to talk about a few instances where she saw student-led learning, what she did. She's going to reflect on lessons and how it helped, and the environment. So she's going to talk about that, or he, sorry, and basically this knowledge is going to be used to create multiple modes of perspectives. So multiple modes of collections and data sources, you're including the participant pool as the student and the teacher, and you're getting all of those different roles so that you create a holistic view to ensure that all perspectives are represented. Then we have clear and student-friendly language for validity, making sure that the students understand what they're supposed to be doing, and meeting with the teacher and understanding that she knows what she's, or he, sorry, is supposed to be doing as well, creating clear and consistent practices. Then we have reliability. So we're going to focus on those three things that I had brought up earlier, the rethinking, the reminding, and the rematching. And we're going to link these directly to student motivation and academic achievement and how those work together and how it's seen in the different perspectives by our participants, which are 2 grade 4 classrooms with 21 students approximately, and the assessment will be completed by all students, and we will look at all of the assessments, and the shadow puppet will also be created by all students, but only focusing on 4 from each class at different levels of achievement, and how their environment and student-led learning help them. Also, we'll ask 2 grade 4 teachers, the ones that are teaching the classes in which will also take part, and the journal will be completed by each teacher at least once a week with detailed incidents. We just talked about that. And then our setting will be 2 open concept grade 4 classrooms. So you see 2 different ones on the sides there. We're going to be bi-weekly looking at both of them, making sure that we have a holistic view of not only the different environments, but the different students there as well. So here's a few ethical considerations. So first off, detailed information of the research plan will be provided to every single part of this project. So parents, guardians, teaching staff, principals, students, and then consent forms or verbal okays will be signed and brought back before any action. Modifications and accommodations will be given to participants with any supports. No worries at all. And then all collection will be taken in a timely and comfortable manner. So in their classroom, we're not taking them out anywhere else. And in reports, when we finally make our final research plan or topic, we are going to make sure we use pseudonyms. And one personal researcher will be in control of viewing the collected data. So this data goes nowhere unless the researcher comes and gets it. It will not be taken anywhere else. So here's our timeline. It's going to take quite a while to get that holistic data from October 2019 to May 2020. So the shadow puppet will be daily on October, February, and April to see that progression. Journals by the teacher will be weekly reflections in November, January, March, and May to also see that progression. And student assessments will be taken after lessons bi-weekly to see how that progression is moving through October, January, and May. The data analysis. Now here's where it goes. A shadow puppet is going to be made into a research essay and a teacher perspective video where it gives a resource for teachers on how to integrate technology into the classroom and what was successful and how their environment played a part in that and how it motivated students. The journals and the student assessments are going to go together. So the student assessment is going to provide quantitative information, having the students rate their environment, rate their motivation based on the factors that we list in there. And the journals are going to be written explanations of those. So what the teacher thought was successful and what the students thought was successful, and creating that holistic view of the student-led motivation and the environment that they have. So finally, the importance of motivating students to increase individual and student learning is very beneficial. Having them be successful and be lifelong learners is really important in our educational system. So through this project and through this plan, we are going to open discussion towards inclusive practices. We're going to create a learning opportunity that has various lessons regarding everything you could talk about, creating a holistic view of the curriculum and enhancing student learning. So we're really bringing that bar for our student learning all the way up. We are creating the importance of lifelong learners and motivation in the classroom. And we're providing opportunities for teachers to witness student feedback, realizing that students are a part of learning too, and that you need to take that into account. And then, of course, student development practices will be provided based on the findings. We're going to give knowledge to teachers so that they can provide this in their classroom too. And then we can see where we need to improve supports within our classroom and enhance learning for all. So thank you for joining me. I hope that this really helped you, and I cannot wait to get started on this research topic. See you when I get more research. Bye!